Hey, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, How You Figure. I'm Justin, and in today's video, we're going to be having our first look at Darth Revan and Lord Starkiller that Hot Toys just announced as part of their video game masterpiece line. And once we're done with that, we're going to take a quick look at another character they released yesterday, BT-1 from the comic book series line. Let's jump into it. All right, so we're going to kick things off with Darth Revan here. Part of the video game masterpiece series from Hot Toys. This is one that people have been wanting for a while. This is one that people have been asking for. This is one people were hoping were going to get announced when they started talking about this Dark Side line or this Dark Side event that they were going to be pulling off. And so here we go, Darth Revan. And these prototype images so far that I've seen the first few, have not disappointed. And again, I want to point out this thing over here, Legend. So that's going to be really interesting to see where they kind of go with that branding in the future. But right here, you got Darth Revan. Right off the bat, you can just see how good this prototype looks. You know me. If you've watched any of my videos, and I'll link a few in the description below and put some up in the cards up here. But when I was talking about the Balin and Shin figures from Ahsoka, I told you how much I love the kind of the night look, and I just love this look right here. I just think it looks really, really cool, almost like this copper look. Really good looking figure based on this image. We're going to go to the next one here, and you can kind of just see it's almost like this combination of like samurai and old knight, and I just love, and plus just modern Sith. It's like this whole combination of all three of those that I really like. Got the two lightsabers here. That's just going to look amazing in the display. But just the costume design is just phenomenal. The helmet's really cool. Looks really good with the hood over the helmet. Just looks really, really good. You can kind of see more of these images here, kind of more of these action poses that you can get. That's a solid pose right there. That is really, really sick. Let's see what else we got here. This is another great pose you can kind of see, and I just love the different colors here. You got really good reds here. You got this copper chest piece and shoulder piece and gauntlets here. You got this nice robe and hood. You have this different stuff going on with this figure. So again, gives it almost that mythical feel, which is really, really cool with Revan. So I'm just gonna keep going here. We can see right here that we're gonna get that standard base, but this figure clocks in at about 270. I believe it's up on Sideshow right now for 270. That's before shipping, tax, all that stuff. But so again, you're gonna get that base. I know some people don't like this base. I know some people don't mind it. I personally don't mind it because when you're putting up these figures side by side, unless it's a deluxe figure, I don't really mind these bases. What's gonna get weird is like when they start doing those bases that are circular. I know the 40th anniversary C-3PO has that one. I know that Han Solo that's coming out next year has one. So that's going to be interesting to see. I think people just want consistency across the board with some of these, but you know, it is what it is. So you're going to get that base with it. Yeah, let's just look at this figure, man, because I can already tell it's going to be really cool to pose this figure with the two lightsabers. It's got a lot of different options for you here. You know, again, each pose that I look at is cooler than the last. Just a cool looking character, cool looking figure. I don't have the biggest emotional attachment to this character, if I'm being totally honest. I'm not as familiar with this character as I am a lot of the other characters from like the live action movies and the television shows and the you know, the animated series and all that. But if you're somebody that's really attached with this character, you cannot be upset about this, I wouldn't think, because even for me, this character just looks really good. And again, it's Revan, man. So again, even if you're like me and you're not the most big, you know, the biggest fan of this or as familiar with it as other people are, you can still appreciate how cool it looks and how good it's going to look in your display with your Star Wars characters. Yeah, just looks absolutely phenomenal. Again, I just think that when people were talking about getting a Darth Revan figure with this, I think people should be happy with what they see here, because I think that this is kind of what people were hoping for, was this. I mean, I'll just be honest. I mean, I think that this looks really good. You got the two different lightsabers there, got the purple and the red. I just think there's so many cool posing options with this. And again, my favorite part of it is just the costume design. I just love the costume design, and I just think it looks really, really good. And it's just one of those figures that I just think has this aura and this, like I said, it's like a mystical character. It's like a mystical figure, and I just love the history behind it. You can kind of just, the costume design really kind of has that, and that's what I loved about that Balin and Shin costume design, is it gives you a different flavor, it gives you a different feel than your typical just Jedi robe. So not that there's anything wrong with that look either, but I do like the different costume design here with the gauntlets. I just think that looks really good. The copper, the chest piece, I just think that's the highlight of this figure for me. And this cape looks really good. It looks like that, a little bit thicker than that Mando cape, but it looks like kind of that same material that you'd get on like a Chrome Mando. But yeah, and yeah, just this figure looks really good, man. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, there's not much else to say about it other than this figure looks good. And if you were excited about this figure and you were waiting on the prototype images, I'm sure that this is one you will be pre-ordering. Right here, metallic copper paint applications. I love that. It just looks really good. I mean, it just looks really, really good. And you got the battle damage there with some of this stuff. And yeah, if you're a big fan of the games, man, if you're a big fan of this character, you're pretty hyped about this. And this is what comes with the special edition bonus for selected markets here. You get this commemorative coin. I would say if you're pre-ordering this figure, definitely pre-order this one. You'd be shocked how much you're gonna like having like an extra special edition bonus. And again, it's not any extra, it's the same price point, so you might as well get the special edition bonus if you're in one of those selected markets that can have that commemorative coin. But really quick, just looking over this before we go over to Starkiller here, we have the LED lightsaber powered by USB. We got the metallic copper paint applications. We just have it all right here. And again, Revan is such a sick character. Again, even if you're in, you're in the middle like me, where you know the character, you think the character's cool, but you don't have the biggest emotional attachment to him, or you're somebody that's a huge fan of the character, or you're just somebody who doesn't even really know the character that well, I think that we can agree that this prototype looks really, really good from Hot Toys, and this is a welcomed addition to the Star Wars line. It's nice to get newer characters. As much as I love seeing the legends, and this is legends, no pun intended, but as much as I love seeing different versions of Luke, different versions of Han, different versions of, Leia, all these different characters, Anakin, it's cool to see some characters for the first time with Hot Toys, so this is really cool. And yeah, so we're going to kick it over to Lord Starkiller here. Starkiller is one that I'm more familiar with. This is a character that I think that, if you loved the games, this is one that you've been waiting for as well. Again, this one looks really cool. It's almost got this like horror / like dark Sith like feel to it. I just love the gloves. It just reminds me of Kruger, man, just personally. But this looks really, really good. I mean, this figure right here looks so sick. You can see the material. You're getting that Darth Vader type material here with the suit. You're getting a little bit of that thing with the Balin, with that old knight look here with this stomach piece here. That looks very similar to that type of material. These boots, it looks like a split cut boot here, if you can see down there. So that's like a split cut boot right there, unless that's just a gauntlet that goes over a full boot. So we'll see, but it could be that. But again, I just love these gloved hands. The helmet is super cool. Just a really unique, really, really unique looking character. And again, it's Starkiller, so there's a lot of lore there as well with this character if you're into the video games. Again, I just think it looks really, really good. Again, we're seeing a lot of the different poses that you can have with these characters with the two lightsabers. Again, the lightsabers with these hands look a little strange. I'm not going to lie. I kind of like this look a little bit better, where it's just the one, and you can kind of, he kind of puts this hand like this. That's just a personal preference, but still. And this looks really good. I just love having that hand. It just reminds me of Freddy Krueger, so I like having that option, and that's how I would be displaying it if I decide to pick this figure up. You can kind of just see more just simple poses with this, which makes sense because of the material. Again, this is more of that Darth Vader material. I'm not sure. I'm assuming that's going to be pleather material. Again, this one clocks in at about 270, so we'll have to be careful with that here. Yeah, this one's just more straightforward, more simple than the Revan's got more of like a presence to me with how it looks. Not comparing them because they're not, they're ones you shouldn't really compare. They're two different characters, but I will say the helmet on this one to me is just really, really cool, and this just looks really good. Like even though you can kind of see the the limitations maybe that you're going to have with this figure with the posability just based on these images. You can kind of see that material there that I'm talking about on the arms. I just really like the look of it. The shoulder pads there, or the shoulder guards. And again, I just keep looking at this helmet and these gloves. That's the highlight for me, is those gloved hands and the helmet. I'm going to take a look at a few more images here. Yeah, just a solid looking figure. I mean, if you, again, as I said with Revan, I mean, I'm more, you know, I played more of the games with Starkiller in it, obviously, but these are two characters that I don't have the biggest like emotional attachment to like I do with the live action stuff. So these are figures that I'm not sure if I'm adding to the collection or not. I probably will, just because these are the first times we're getting these figures in Hot Toys form. And again, you never know if you're going to get how many versions of these characters you're going to get. So I think that's definitely a deciding factor for you if you're deciding to pre-order or to pick these figures up. Yeah, I just think it looks really good. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to I always say this in these first look videos, like I don't want to keep sounding redundant, but it looks really good, and I like the clean look of this. I like how it's just plain and simple, right to the point. Looks solid. It's almost like a Vader almost was created, you know, created fully in like a lab with like a mashup of Freddy Krueger, like in terms of costume design. And it's almost like this old, like you know, almost like Game of Thrones-esque like helmet, with how I could see like some, you know, if you take the front part of it off, it's like a helmet that you'd see like in battle or something, you know. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, oh, and the back's really good. Now this is something I haven't seen yet, and this is really cool. So I love this. So this is definitely up there too for one of the highlights of this figure so far for me, is this back right here. That is nice. That looks fantastic. And you can see the different hilts back there. Now that's cool. The more details I'm seeing of this figure, man, the more I'm really liking it. All right, so we got it right here. We got highly detailed costume design. Yeah, I mean, I'll agree. Highly detailed costume design. You got to love that. I do love this almost mad scientist feel for this character. I've always liked this this costume design for this character, and again, we can see it right here. Highly detailed costume design, LED lightsaber powered by USB. It seems like that's where all these new Star Wars figures are going. And again, we get the regular base there, we get the different hands, and again, special edition bonus commemorative coin. Doesn't cost you any extra, so if you're in those selected markets, I would definitely advise to get those. Those would be nice little things you could put by the figure, especially if this is going to be something that they do with the Legend series or something. I'm not sure, but yeah, that looks really good. And I think that if you were excited about Lord Starkiller or Darth Revan, you're really excited. And we're going to quickly, and I mean quickly, just look over BT-1. I didn't want to make a whole video just on BT-1, but this is from the comic line here. Now, what's weird is if you can see down here, it just says Hot Toys and Comic, but if you go look at the Hot Toys on posts on Instagram, it'll say diecast down there. So I don't know why. I bet that was an error or something. It doesn't look like this is diecast, especially at a $220 price point. But again, if you're familiar with this character, it's from the comics. So if you're not familiar with this character, that's why. It's a comic book character that they had, and this is really interesting to me that they have this you know, image right here of 3PO, and we're probably gonna be getting that character as well. It looks like that version of that character. So again, I'm just going over these really quickly just so you can kind of see this character as well if you were interested. If you're a droid collector, again, I plan on getting a few droids. This will not be the one. I think it looks really good, but this is not the droid for me personally. But if you're somebody that's really into the comics and you're really into this this type of droid, I totally get it. It looks good. I mean, it looks really good, and you can kind of see all the different stuff you can do with it. But again, at $220, you know, you're not getting a whole lot. You're getting the droid body, and you're getting, you know, you're basically getting the figure. So I mean, that's why it comes in at $220. So you got to kind of weigh that out a little bit. But that was the BT-1 right there. I just wanted to show that off really quickly. Now let's kick it to the outro. All right, so that was our first look at Darth Revan and Lord Starkiller and BT-1. But the major news is that Darth Revan and Lord Starkiller figure. Let me know in the comments below if you plan on picking that up. I think if you're someone who's really looking forward to these announcements and wanted to collect these and wanted to add them to your video game masterpiece line, or you're somebody that just loves the video games and loves these characters, or you're just someone who wants this character in your display because they haven't done them yet, you have to be really, really thrilled with how these prototype images came out. I think they look really, really good. And even the BT-1, like I said, at a price point of $220, even though that's not a super familiarized character with people unless you read the comics, that's still a character that I think is a cool droid to have in your display if you're somebody that likes to collect the droids. So again, really 3 really cool, solid announcements from Hot Toys, ones that people have been waiting for. As I said, let me know in the comments below if you plan on picking these up. Which ones are you most excited for? I want to hear everyone's thoughts. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. Please make sure to give it a thumbs up on your way out if you wouldn't mind. It'd really help out my channel and this video. And make sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. I think if you liked this video, you're going to like it around here. And check out more of my first look videos in the description below. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.